So you went to college, maybe because you wanted to, maybe because someone forced you to, and now you're finding that you're not really learning anything new. What should you do? And this doesn't just apply to college. It could apply to taking a job that turned out to be lackluster, or really any scenario where you feel stuck. So today I want to talk about how to get unstuck.
John Ray thinks about things, then he posts those thoughts to the internet.
All right, so whether it's a job that you don't really like, whether you're enrolled in college and you're not really getting any benefit out of the classes, all of these can be changed just by altering your perspective. And no matter what your situation is, it's important to get the energy flowing towards the things that you want. And you can do this in a number of ways, but really for me, my favorite way is to make lists. You can either make these lists in your head, or even better, what I do is handwrite these lists in a journal or on a piece of paper. And for me personally, I like to make this kind of a ritual or a ceremony because it helps me believe that it's going to take more effect. And really, this is all about altering your beliefs and altering the way that you perceive the things around you. And so it's not necessary to turn this into some sort of a seance ceremony type thing, but anything that you can do to believe that it's taking more effect in your life will allow it to be more effective for you. And so what I do is I find a quiet place where I know I'm not going to be interrupted, and I really just kind of go into a state of meditation. And by meditation, I really just mean closing my eyes and letting my mind daydream about anything or everything. And what I try to focus on when I'm daydreaming is the ideal situation or scenario around whatever area of my life I feel stuck in. So for instance, the gentleman who submitted this question about college and him not really getting anything new out of his college classes. If I was stuck in college classes that I felt were boring or were not preparing me for my true passions in the quote-unquote real world, I'd go into a deep imagination about how my classes could be more fun. I would imagine what it's like when I'm so confident in my classroom material that my professors are always asking me to share in front of my classmates. I would imagine what it's like to be the go-to student and to have people ask me for advice on the subjects that interest me. I would become an expert in the subjects that interest me. I would imagine ways that I could take my core interests, the things that I really want to do in the future, and I would publicize those interests through some kind of a blog, or by writing articles for the school newspaper, or by getting on one of the school radio stations. I would do anything in my power while I'm in college and in this great learning facility that has so many infinite resources available to me, and I would use those free resources as a way to publicize what it is I want to be doing in the future. I would look through all of the extracurricular clubs and organizations that are available to me that align with my overall interests, and I would join as many of them as I could. I would imagine how my professors really want their classes to be interesting to me, but because college classes are oftentimes really large, they can't cater to every single person in a huge classroom. But most professors do hold office hours where they can meet one-on-one with students, and a lot of students don't take advantage of this. And so I would go and meet one-on-one with my professors and make sure that they knew me and make sure that they understood where I was coming from and what I was hoping to learn. I would imagine how perfectly each of my one-on-one meetings with my professors could go, and I would imagine myself telling each of my professors what I'm really interested in, and imagine myself being very honest with them that I'm not really connecting with their material, and then ask them if they have any suggestions for how I might better enjoy their classes or better take their material to a new level. I would sit there and imagine how overjoyed my professors would be that I actually took the initiative to discuss my wanting to enjoy their material more. And I'd imagine all of the weird possibilities that could come from being on a first name basis with each of my professors. I would imagine myself starting my own clubs and organizations that revolve around my interests and meeting with as many of my college's free counseling and advising and career development coaches as possible. College has so many resources available to students, and when you're a student, you don't even think to utilize them all. And then when you leave school, you need those resources and they're no longer there. And so when you're in college, go to a counselor and find out all of the infinite resources that are available to you outside of your core classes. I would start to look into all of the free things outside of resources, outside of classes. Outside of my core electives. I would look into art classes. I would look into anything that pertains to something that I'm passionate about. I would start going to all or any of the college networking events that revolve around where my passions really lie. I would constantly talk about the things that I want to do with my life, the places that I want to go, the people that I want to meet, and the positive change that I want to affect in the world. And I would talk about those things to the point where people start to label me as the guy that is going to do such and such. And as people label me that gives my ideas and my creativity more energy. And I would use that new reputation as a way to open doors that otherwise might have remained closed. And I would use that reputation to meet as many people as possible that might help me later on down the road. I would remind myself that I don't have to ace every single exam. I don't have to ace every single final. But it's much more important that I gain a valuable understanding of the real life application of the material that's being taught. I would remind myself that street smarts are always more valuable than book smarts, and I would ask my professors to guide me towards real life applications of their material. And then mostly, I would acknowledge and accept that college is one of the most diverse places and times in my life thus far, and that somewhere on campus, there's already a group of people doing exactly what I want to do and driving towards the same goals that I want to achieve, and they are eager to meet with me and to make me a part of their group and to learn from me and for me to learn from them. And I would seek out those groups. I would remind myself that college isn't just about learning in the classroom, but is an opportunity to mingle with a very interesting and diverse set of people, and that the true knowledge and education comes from meeting as many of those people as I possibly can. And once I had imagined all of those things for 10 minutes at a time or for hours on end, I would walk out of my dorm room or apartment, I would go to class, and then I would expect all of those things to start manifesting in my life. And then I would just watch it all unfold. So no matter what you're feeling stuck in, if you can make lists about how things could be, imagine all of the different potentials that things might work out. Imagine all of the side paths and back alleys that you might take that could lead to fabulous things that most of the regular students don't ever know about. If you're in a job, you can do the same thing. Maybe you get promoted to a new department. Maybe you think about how your company is moving in a direction that you could really provide a lot of value to. Maybe you think about how this job is a great stepping stone to another job. Maybe you think about how the job that you have right now is a great cushion for you to start looking for a new job without having to take something out of the desperation of needing a paycheck. And so there can be a positive spin to just about everything. Not just about everything. There can be a positive spin to everything. And if you will find the one area in whatever you're doing that excites you and really push your energy into that excitement and into that passion, then you will see it flourish in all of the other areas. So thanks to Brian, who submitted the question about college. I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, my name's John Ray, and you can ask them at theylaughed@julesverne.com. Thanks. Still feeling stuck? The worst thing that you can do when it comes to manifesting your reality or putting forth a vibe is to then immediately go out and measure if your vibration is being matched. Because things work a little bit more slowly in this physical reality. And so as you imagine all of these things, go and expect that everything that you imagine is going to come to fruition, but don't feel disappointed if it doesn't happen immediately. Just continue to imagine that everything is working out exactly how you want, and delude yourself into thinking that this is happening. And as you delude yourself, or a better word would be to imagine your reality the way that you want it to be, eventually it will take the form of your imagination. And so don't go out and constantly gauge where you're at, how much closer you are to the physical manifestation. Just pretend like it already exists. Feel the way that you would feel if it already existed, and then it will show up in your life.
When you watch a video and you like it, then you hit the thumbs up sign. And if you wanna see more videos, then you better subscribe now.